All right. So now when we talk about habits, like every time there is a discussion on habits, it becomes really important to understand why the whole hype about habits. Why are we talking about habits in detail? As Sansari said, everything that we are, can we all agree that our life circumstance, wherever we are, whether you're happy with it or whether you're unhappy with it, whether you're happy with a particular area of life or happy about it, whatever it is a sum result of all our past actions. In our culture, it is called karma, right? Our culture, Indian culture, has been the first ever. See, and if you look at the way all you know, the in most of the ancient thinking was, it is always that our life is there is a certain fate. There's a certain fate that someone has written down, that your entire life is there, and it's all like a script that's being played out. Our culture is the first one to even come across the concept of karma. That means you are the result of your actions, to put it simply. And today, you can think that you are going to reevaluate your karma and you are going to build new ones. So, are you ready for that? Yes. So comment in yes in the chat box if you are ready, because I want to see how involved you are. And please remember that this is a session that requires a 100% attention. In fact, all sessions require 100% attention. But this one particularly, you're going to get a lot of notes. You're going to have a lot of insights and wow moments. And I want you to be ready with your book, taking notes. And remember, the way you take notes, you're not just going to blindly copy everything that's being said, but rather you're going to contextualize for your life everything that's saying. Be fully involved, active listening. Yes. So let's go with this. So can you all see this? Okay.
So in this Sunday, the master class is going to be about critical thinking. And let me introduce this. Let me just talk a little bit about what the Sunday is this about. Critical thinking is when you start analyzing things just not on the basis of feelings, but on facts, on reality, being able to see things from different perspectives. It is little disturbing. It is little, uh, consuming, because you have to see things. It's a little difficult. It's like reading a difficult book. So the very first implementation of the very first implementation of critical thinking I'm going to show you today. You are all used to seeing things in PowerPoint. You are all used to seeing things in colorful slides. Today we will show you another method of representing your thoughts, of representing your ideas. It's called mind mapping. How many of you have made mind maps before? How many of you made mind maps before? We should put this upstairs. The angle is a little awkward. So today we will be talking about and teaching you how you can implement mind maps for anything in your life. So we will be sharing, first put it out there and then. So we will be sharing with you today how to create mind maps. Today we will show you for our class, but based on it, you'll be able to create for anything else going after this. Okay. So let's start. Yeah, now the angle is okay. Zooming down to my face.
Okay, so this is called a mind map. I can show you, if you are interested on how to learn to create this mind map. I will show you exactly how this is done. It's actually not that difficult. There are free and paid softwares that you can do this, but it's a really cool way of presenting visual information. See, the very first thing that you want to understand when you talk about habits is, I already spoke about it, Century already spoke about it. Our life is a result of all our past actions. Now, any action you take, you can think of that as being a habit. For example, the very simple thing of showing up for a session is itself habit. 70 people are given the names, 25 people have showed up for the session. So what about the others? And I know that these 25 people are the ones who are showing up consistently for the morning classes as well as the evening session. So I know each one of you who are coming for the classes regularly. Now this is a habit that you're showing up. Those who are showing up for the classes are going to get the results out of it. It's as simple as that. And that is for every aspect of your life. If you look at it, it is all about the actions that you're putting in. We always, a very important part that you want to understand here is when we are focusing on the habits, we are focusing on our actions. We are not focusing, we are not paying so much attention on the external circumstances. We're not paying so much attention on what others has done to us or what has happened to us in the past. It is all about the actions that we can take in the present right now. Okay. And that's a really, really powerful place to be in that. Right now, the actions that you're taking is going to decide the course of your life. And that essentially is conscious thinking. That is conscious living. So you're choosing everything you're choosing. Now, when we talk about choices and wanting a particular life, the very first thing that most of us think of is goal setting. Correct? We think of goals. How many of you have done any goal setting activities, any kind of goal setting practices, goal setting activities with all of us? Yes, almost all of you. Now, I want to ask you, you have to be very honest with you. How many of you have actually gone ahead and accomplished the things you've written in your vision, that you've written in your goals, that you have written in your vision board, that you have pasted in your vision board? Some of the things you would have, most of the things you would not have. And in life, if you see that there is a recurring pattern right from our childhood, that there is a moment of inspiration. We think of a goal, we write it down, we write it in bold letters. We even probably, once we learn to about visioning, we started adding that as well. But yet, always, you look back 2 years later, you're still stuck in the same place. It's happened to me, and I know it happens to most people who write goals. Now, here, this is the problem with goals. The problem with goals is that while goals give you a great direction to look forward to in life, Rini, Janavi, Ramya, Sushi, Isha, Maitri, Sridevi, Ananya, I would want all of you to turn on your cameras because I really want to see your responses here. See, this is a habit. Now, yes, super. Thank you so much. So now here's a problem with goals that while goals give you a direction, a great direction to look forward to, it is always focused on the end outcome. One of the greatest insights that our culture has ever created is, you know what it is? Karam karo, phal ki chinta mat karo. Right? Kaam karo, phal ki chinta mat karo. Now, why is that important? It's really beautiful because you realize that you look at in life, you have very little control over the outcomes. See, whether your relationship is going to stay intact, whether it is going to fall apart, you have very little control of. Whether your health is going to stay with you, whether it's going to fall apart, okay, whether, that also you have little control. But what you can control is your current actions, the processes that you're doing in life, right? Whether you can transform your life or not in 3 months, I don't know. But what you have control of is showing up for the classes, taking the assessment seriously, doing the things that are necessary for it. You realize the difference, the perspective shift between both. While one is more outcome driven, second is more process driven. And this is why I tell goals are for losers. Goal setting is for losers. The winners in life, those who actually accomplish things, go ahead and accomplish what they promised to themselves. They have systems in place.
I want to mention here something that you have to understand, that everybody who participates in a race participates to win. Do you think any Olympic winner who is participating or any person contesting an election or doing it comes with this feel ki I'm running the race, but I want to come second or third. I'm waiting for the second and third. Everyone is fighting for that one prize, the first one. Then what is it that is the difference between what the person who comes first versus the person who comes second versus third? It is all about the systems they set up. For example, even with cricket, right? Everybody is getting training in the same set of hours. Everybody does it. But what is it that gives you that one little edge? So winners or losers, the difference between them is a system that they have in place. And when Niranjan is saying about this, I'll explain it to you in a little more layer. There are three layers of how you build up habits. In the first practice, you discover your habits. You tell us, I want to wake up in the morning.
Outcome.
I want to start getting up in the morning. That is very built on your outcome. I want this to happen. I want this. I want to get up onto this. The other kind of building is the one that I truly do it is the process building, which Niranjan will be taking you to build processes, for example, morning routine, night routines. But the most deepest level of transformation is on the level of identity. Okay. For example, you don't want to read books. You want to be a reader. You don't want to learn about, say, technology. You want to be a successful entrepreneur. And that is why when you start focusing on your 2.0, when you start building you know that this is the person I'm going to be. That is the strongest kind of motivation. So rather than saying, I want to wake up in the morning, which habits may you will say, process may you will say, I want to have a good morning routine that supports my lifestyle. And identity level where you will say, I want to be a morning person who starts their day with a smile. Understand the difference? So working on habits is level 1. Working on progress, working on processes is level 2. And level 3 is when you start working on your identity. With this, I want to gently remind you all, Sunday is coming. You should have been working on your soul books. Do the 45-minute reflection exercise. Don't take these as optional. Just as much you could take a time to come up for an 8 to 9 class today. You should use this as a habit, and even on days we don't have a class, sit down and work. Right? So these are habits we are going to mention about. Super.
Thank you so much, Sari. So see, this is the first thing that I want you to understand, that whenever you have a goal, it is always the first level, as Sari said. The real change happens when you start changing the way you look at yourself. And that's exactly what we are going to start talking about. Let's understand goals versus systems here in the first place. See, a goal is something that you're simply writing on the surface. We already spoken about that. I want to start art business. I want to lose weight. I want to be more mindful. Now here, when you're talking about systems, so when you're talking about systems, what is really coming into place is you're really focusing on the deeper transformations that you are bringing on a day-to-day basis, so that you can really support your goal. When you bring it down to systems, let's say on a goal level, you are going to say that I want to lose 10 kilos. That's a goal that most of us try. On a system level, you're saying that I will start walking 10 minutes a day, every day. That's the bare minimum you can do. Start walking 10 minutes every day. Or I will eat little, I will eat salad for one meal instead of roti curry. See, now these are simple. This is a system that you're setting up. Once you start with the easiest thing, we will talk in more in depth about, the mistakes we make here, why we tend to complicate things and how that can be determined. We'll go in depth there. But on a system level, you're setting that up. And now you're following that regularly. Now, eventually you can increase. A goal will be, I want to start an art business. A system will be, I'm going to draw regularly. I'm going to post consistently. And I'm going to go more. I'm going to pitch more to, the people who will accept, who will want to buy my art. That's going to be system. And you're going to do this consistently. On a goal level, you can say that I want to be more mindful. On a system level, you can practice journaling, meditation, gratitude, every practices that we are giving you. You can do that more consistently. You realize the difference between both of this here and this very first level. Goal, I want to complete live craft. Systems, I'm going to show up consistently for all the live classes. I'm going to show up I'm going to wake up at 5. I'm going to do the morning check-ins. And we are going to take all the activities seriously. See, we have set a system for you. And by following that system, you can reach your goal. So always remember to just record Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Sri Krishna, Kaam karo, phal ki chinta mat karo. This is essentially the first lesson that I want you all to understand. How many of you got that ready? Systems. You understood clearly what the difference between goals versus systems. Say I.
No, can you re-simplify this?
Sulagna, I appreciate your doubts. I would, I will answer all the doubts together in the end. All right. Thank you so much. It's superb. Please note all the doubts. Any doubts that you have, anything that you want to ask, please note. Yes, we will answer everything in the end. So systems are SMART goal, essentially a system that you're setting up. See, SMART goal is still a goal, but systems are when you're actually putting it into implementation. But SMART goal certainly is a way of setting a system. Make sense? Yes, systems and processes. That's what is most important. So any doubts, anything that you have, please note them down. I would love to have a detailed Q&A after the session as well. And the session might extend a little beyond 9. I hope you're fine with that. Now, the next thing that I want you to understand here is that every time what happens when you follow a system, when you are following a system, you are bringing a small change into your life, a small progress. And we often underestimate what 1% progress can make in our life. 1% progress. Every time you wake up in the morning and you start with a meditation, you are releasing dopamine. You're releasing chemicals that you need for your brain, and that is rewiring. Day 1, you won't see difference. Day 2, you won't see difference. Now imagine doing that. Yes, Nikita, a big part of this is also inspired from Atomic Habits and a lot of other books on habits that we've come across as well. Yes. So day 1, you won't see any change. Day 2, no change. Day 3, no change. But eventually, you will realize at one crucial point that my God, I've just transformed. A situation in which someone does something that would typically be triggering for you, you don't react to it. And that's when it strikes. There's a beautiful movie. What is that? The Sweet Story of Henry Sugar. What is that? The Sweet Story of Henry Sugar. It's a really, really beautiful movie. I would want all of you to watch it. It's really, really beautiful. One change that's, I want to tell a recent incident that's happened in the past. I was driving in the morning. I was driving for my swimming class and I was keeping the windows open and going. Out of nowhere, an auto guy just comes racing right side by side and he starts swearing. I have no idea what he was doing. I still don't know why he had to do that. Probably he was having a bad day, but I don't know. He just came, started thing from the behind, started rotating, and then went away. I just closed the window and continued driving. I did feel an anger. Yes, I did feel an irritation and an anger at the time, but I did not have to follow the typical triggers of chasing, swearing back at him, trying to show who's the real man here. You see, it's not necessary. It's not needed. But 2 years ago, I would have shown who the boss is. You realize, same thing happens when you go to the gym. Day 1, no difference. Day 2, no difference. But you show up consistently. In 2 months, people are going to ask you, hey, have you been exercising? You never know when that point comes. And we often underestimate what one small differences over time can make. And the small differences that you make, you can show it up either in the way of progressing in one thing, or you can show in the way that the compound result of that can happen. Let's look at this in little more depth because it's something that is really, really transformative if you truly imbibe into your life. 1% improvement for 365 days literally makes you 37.8 times better than that. And that's incredibly powerful. 1% for 365 days. Let's just take a moment and sing that. What are some of those areas that you've been putting off in life? Because you thought that the steps I'm taking is too small. These are insignificant. And let me tell you, as you're listening to this, if you are really thinking deeply and taking it, you are becoming better at deep listening, active listening. Yes, you're entering a flow. We'll talk in detail about flow states and have a session on that in the coming 2 weeks. But everything in life, it's a matter of practice. And small changes implemented over time can make a huge difference. See, when you are meditating, if you want to start meditating and you struggle with sitting with your eyes closed or focusing or your body listening, start small with just 2 minutes and increase it over time. And in order to truly help you with this, we've done something absolutely crazy here. We created a list of meditations that you can start implementing right away. You just
Show
start.
them the link.
Yes. So it is, you can find it in the task board. You can find it in the task board. Go to the right side. You will find 1 to 20 minutes guided meditation series. So this is a playlist. See, go to the task board of Padlet. Right next to 45 minutes exercise, extreme right here, you will see 1 to 20 minutes guided meditation series. You click
So
on
there is literally no excuse left for you people not to do it. We have given you even meditation as short as 1 minute.
1 minute. So you see here, this literally, if you click, it's a 1 minute meditation.
So
Hey,
sitting
you
comfortably.
don't have time.
Just
You don't have 1 minute. Okay. Let's go and then 2 minutes. Here's 2 minutes.
If it's comfortable for you.
That's it, guys. So this is as much. And now I'll tell you, honestly, this is something that one should be able to do it on their own. There should be an intrinsic motivation. Yeah, I want to meditate. Let me at least try 1 minute. You go to YouTube and you search. That's all it takes. But I know that not all of us, including me, have that kind of motivation. So here we are to get you there. But that is it. We can take you to the Excel sheet, to open it every day, to sit and bookmark these, keep them saved. That is you. And that is who you are being. When, like I said, the habits are like boat. When the time when we decided that let's make this list, we put a vote into our personality of being coaches, of being able to show people a path. Now, if you want to put it into a vote of being more authentic, of being more integral, do it. Okay, so I don't want us to be amazing. I want you all to be amazing. So go online, check this, keep these playlists ready and do this. Okay.
And mind you, everything that you do, it does not have to be like a sudden jump. See, we often look at life in terms of, this huge leaps, because that is what is shared in social media. That's what we see in movies.
From tomorrow, somehow magically, I'll wake up and I'll stop having sugar.
I'll stop having sugar. I mean, we talk about these overnight successes. There's no such thing as an overnight success. Everything, it happens as a result of processes and habits that are built eventually over time. As you want to take from 1 to 20 minutes, you are not going to do it one day increasing by 1 minute. That is not going to happen. In 1 week, increase to 1 minute. So now in 10 weeks, you're going to do a whole from 1 minute, you're going to do in 2 months, 2.5 months time, you're going to do a whole 10 minutes of meditation in the morning. And the same thing can be done for your any activity in life. You want to learn to cook. Start small.
I'll tell you the small incident that went viral very recently. So it was when India cricket, the India finale was going on. Beckham had come to our country to see this match. So Beckham was sitting in all of these Bollywood actors and actresses, and everybody was like, "Today our luck is only bad. India's luck is only bad. Australia is winning because India's luck is only bad." Beckham said, somebody's bad luck is another person's intense hard work. You know, whenever we talk about good luck, we say uska to lucky acha hai, ya mera to lucky bura hai. It is of somebody's hard work put into it also. So hard habits, votes, all these take a little time, but the result goes up out there, right?
And remember, every time, see, here one very important thing is we often inherently overcome a resistance towards doing something. Now there is no magic formula to fix this. The only real way you can overcome the resistance is by truly convincing yourself that you want to do something for yourself. Remember what Sansari said. Every time you do an action, I don't want you to do it like you're doing something on the surface level. You have created, see, we learned in the Elevate program, all of you would have attended the Elevate program. We did version 1.0, we created version 2.0. In the previous Sunday masterclass, we revised, we had another look at the version 2.0. Now, every action that you're doing, just as I told you, wherever you are right now in your life is a result of your past actions. And what's beautiful is where you can be in future is also going to be a result of your actions. And every act that you're doing, you're casting a vote for your new identity. Eventually, the evidence will show that when identity shifts can't happen like this, it happens with actions, and when the evidence supports, when there is enough evidence to support that you are this person.
Yeah. For example, say today you say every day you're going to have salad, but today at night you order something from McDonald's and eat. The effect is not that you are going to gain weight instantly tomorrow 5 kilos, or you are going to get it, but it is taking you one step further from the person you wanted to be. You constantly kept saying you're a person who believes in healthy lifestyle, who believes in it. The immediate effect of is not that you are going to go fat by eating just one burger, or oh, you cheated tomorrow morning. It is, you are getting farther from the person you want to become. Today, if you stay up late, watch Netflix and wake up tomorrow, no drastic change will happen in your life in one day. It's not like tomorrow you will wake up late, your day is going to get bad, but you are going to be one step further from that person you said that early riser you have to be. Right? So all these things you are doing are probably causing small changes in your short term there and all, and that's why it doesn't affect you so much. Ki I am not going to read books क्योंकि पढ़ भी लिया तो क्या होगा? 2-3 books are not going to change my life. They are going to. Those 2-3 books you read, even if you read one page every day, it is making you a reader. Even if you are learning 10 minutes every day, you are becoming a learner. Right? So put in both as much as you can towards your good habits.
And the big part about these small changes you're implementing over time is that you eventually turn to this person that, then the things that you have to put effort into doing now, they come easier over time. They become easier over time. When you start to wake up in the morning, it's a struggle. But eventually, not waking up in the morning will be difficult because you'll realize over time that even if you sleep at 1 a.m., you will still wake up at 5 a.m.
So I'll give you a little NLP concept. Pura nahi explain karungi, but it's there. But the main gist is whenever you are introducing a new habit, your brain goes in a high alert mode. There is so much newness happening around it. It's trying to understand. Suddenly one day you wake up at 5:30 a.m. It's trying to understand what is it? Why are we doing it at 5:30? Why are we doing it? So sometimes that will and the effort that you need, your brain doesn't able to cope up. So a simple technique that I'm going to teach you today to cope up is called the pointing and calling method. Okay, it is a very effective method to generate new habits because your brain may you are using other sensory objects also. So how does it work on? You have to basically, whichever habit you are trying to make or break, you have to actively point in doing it. For example, whenever in the night you are going to sleep, you look towards your yoga mat and say, this is my yoga mat. Tomorrow morning, I will do my yoga lesson here. Okay. Then if supposedly there is a book nearby you and not reading, you have to point it out and say it loud. This is a book that I'm going to finish this week. So when you say this out loud, your brain's energy to build that habit comes down because all your sensory, your eyes are involved in this, your mouth is involved in it. So it helps you enforce the habit even deeper. So for example, coffee is there. You have a cup of coffee in the morning. You say, I will have this cup of coffee only after I finish my exercise. Okay. Night mein simple habit, you want to start brushing, you look at your brush, point towards it and say, I will brush my teeth tonight before sleeping.
I don't mind if someone points at you and calls it cheesy. That's all right. It's their life. This is your life. You're doing it for you.
So this is something that really helps. It's an NLP driven technique because your entire body, not just your brain, becomes part of this. So quickly do a point and call, do it through simply habit. For example, you can pick up your morning alarm clock and say, I am going to wake up at 5:30 tomorrow morning when you wake up. Quickly point and call towards things.
Anything that you
really
want,
works, guys.
You want to be, exercise you want to do, any special dish you want to prepare, any activity of soulful you wanted to complete.
You know how I use it?
Yes.
In the gym, when I'm coming out, I tell that cycling I do every 10 minutes and I tell it and I am going to come tomorrow and I'm going to cycle with you. And trust me, the days I don't make this commitment and don't talk, I don't end up going. Right? So pick up your phone and say, I'm not going to touch you for 2 hours tomorrow when I wake up in the morning. Right? Tell your Netflix, I'm not going to use you tonight while sleeping. What did you point and call at? Right? Tell me in the chat box. It is, if you don't believe me, kids, you all have kids at home or you have been seen around kids. How do kids learn? Parents, how do they make kids learn? They tell them to keep saying things. This is bad. This is good. How do they tell? Milk, good. Milk, drink. They don't know the words also. But if they try to enforce things like this, bad touch, good touch, good touch. And the more and more they say and point, they learn, right? Dog, cat. That's how I learned Malayalam also. I'm learning. And do it. So point and learn just like kids. Chaya, how do kids do? And the more and more they keep saying, their brain learns. So today, when you want to build a habit, point up and say, I'm going to get rid of you. I'm going to get rid of you. Point and do it. Good. Tell me today that how did this technique work for you?
That's a really, really powerful technique. Just pointing out and doing it. Eventually, you will realize that when you start, you will need this, but eventually you will start focusing on other things. We'll go more in depth on building more habits in the last part of the session. Now, see, when at every part, all of you has at some point wanted to say we want to save more money or we want to earn more money. We want to have that investment. Simple step. Start by setting aside a small amount. A small amount. It's typically investors say that you need to set aside 10% of your income, but you can keep it a fixed income that you want to save at least every month. And this is a technique that I've heard a lot of people do. That every time you cut out an unnecessary expense, let's say you want to, just say you feel like binge eating, and you want to order something, some food that you really don't want it at that time. Instead of ordering that amount, you now immediately transfer it to your savings account. And as it starts growing, see, because our mind, why do we follow something? Because we get a certain reward out of it. You eat something sugary, immediately the dopamine kicks in. And then a reward is instantly coming. But for something like a healthy eating, the reward, it's not so obvious right now. Maybe with certain foods, you will feel, a little bit of good gut feeling. But apart from that, the rewards aren't that immediate. They aren't as strong. It's one thing you can implement is that for everything you're doing, simultaneously try setting up a reward system for what you're doing. And that will really, really help. They'll really help in staying consistent with something. And see, guys, in order to really drive home this point, I want to show you this. Money is one of the best ways you can really show. So let's say I'm 27 years old and I want to invest. I'll put a bare minimum. See, if you guys had to start investing right now, how much would be the amount that you would be willing to invest every month? Let's just go with the figures that you're telling. So it looks believable. Go ahead, type in the chat box right now. If you are already doing it, you can comment in what you're already doing. Or if you plan to do, you can do what you plan to do. Yes. 100, 200, 1,000, 5,000, how much? Let's go. I'll put a rather this one. Yes, 500, 1,350, 4,000, 20. Okay. So I'll just put a number 5,000 here. Okay. 5,000. Now 5,000 rupees, if you're investing every month, and let's say you do that for 5 years, the bare minimum you can expect is 10%, right? At least to keep up with inflation. Now 3 lakhs invested becomes 3.9 lakhs. Well, not a big thing, right? I mean, not so interesting. What happens if I do that for 10 years? You invest 6 lakhs, it becomes 10 lakhs. Oh, you see that? The amount you invested is 6 lakhs, now it's become 10 lakhs. And this is like the bare minimum returns I've already put in, 10%. What happens if we do that for 15 years? Now you're earning more than double. This is the power of compounding. And that is why Albert Einstein has said that compounding is truly the eighth wonder of the world. And compounding is not something that's used just for money, to show how money can grow over time. But rather, compounding can apply in every area of your life. If you have been following Soulflow and the work that we have been doing, it all started with me taking a class in my bedroom, taking art classes in my bedroom. I'm still doing it in my studio home. It's not like I have a big Apple office, but still. So it started with 3 people, and initially the progress was very, very slow. I was caught up in the cycle of getting new students every month. 1 year later, I started having, some changes. Since Shari came along, we started growing more. I started learning and implementing a lot of things. Yes, Karamjeet, you're welcome. I started learning and implementing a lot of other things. And, I started running ads. I started learning more about reading figures, reading balance sheets. I started understanding about optimization and sales. And, it started. Then 2 years later, something interesting happened. The pace at which I'm learning new things also started increasing. So it's not just what the learning and implementation that will happen over time. The pace at which you're doing things is also going to. That is why the smart people keep getting smarter. The rich people keep getting rich. The wise men and women, they keep getting wise over time. Because why? It compounds. When you underestimate the power of small changes, you're going to remain stuck where you're at. But when you start taking small steps that you can do right now, starting from today, right now, just focus on what you can do right now. You will realize that over the years, the actions are going to be massive, massive. The greatest trouble of a human being as human beings is that we find it extremely difficult to look beyond the present circumstance. In my experience as a coach, I've spoken to many people, and this one thing is very, very common, no matter what they're doing in life. The constant trouble is always what is happening right now. And any change, it is needed in the next two months, 3 months. But most of us here, I'm 27, most of you here will be in your 30s, 40s. Some of you might be, in your 50s as well. But our life expectancy is more than double of whatever age you're in right now. Where I am coming from is, if Soulflow can accomplish so much in 3 years, imagine what you as an individual will be capable of accomplishing in 20 years' time with the small steps that you're taking right now, seemingly insignificant steps you're taking right now. And that's a really powerful thought. The relationship with time. Because you need to consider, you need to have an expanded awareness of what is going to happen. It's not just right now. It's always over time, the changes that you're going to implement that's going to bring in massive differences over the years. Did we all get that right? Yes. How many of you are super inspired, fired up right now? Comment in fire the chat box. Fire. Yes. And I want you to have that intensity. Feel that intensity, that just for life. We have been staying lukewarm for so long. Why do you want to remain lukewarm when you can do so much more? And finally, why are we doing all of this? Why even learn habits? It is so that we can create a version 2.2. We've already spoken in depth about how you need to become identity driven and not outcome driven. Right? You're all clear with that. Why? Because every action you're taking, rather than, our biggest hindrance is unfortunately the goal we set for ourselves. We have a goal of having that massive 7-figure business. We have that goal of that amazing looking body with 10% body fat. We have that goal of being this person who's looked upon in society and being someone who's respected by all. But we look at where we are right now and we get demotivated. But remember that the actions you're taking right now is simply a vote you're casting for that future self you want to be. And this is what exactly I meant by become identity driven and not outcome driven. Outcomes will take care of itself on its own. Just that is outcome goals you're just setting to have a general direction on where you want to lead in life. It's like you're starting a journey, a train flight journey you're starting. There has to be a landing station. You need to know where you need to go. Right? Every act you're doing is a vote that you're casting for yourself. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that we make over time. You all made habit trackers. I want you all to have a good look at the habit tracker that you have. You all have the habit tracking sheets taken copies of. Yes, habit tracking sheets. One of the biggest mistakes, I don't know specifically what habits you have set for yourself. Of course, in the doubt clearance sessions are the times when you can ask your specific questions. But one thing I know for certain is that a whole lot of us make this mistake of adding too many disjointed habits at one time. And I've been there too as well. Let me explain. Every time you're doing a habit, every time you are taking an action, it requires willpower. Correct? It requires willpower. You will realize that it's very, very interesting. You will realize, and this is especially true for everyone who's starting to exercise for the first time. Your entire life will revolve around your exercise and gym routine. And then what will happen is that you will start feeling a little frustration. Oh, this is taking up so much energy, so much bandwidth. I can't do this. New parents. How many of your parents here? Parents. You realize when the first time you had a child, your entire life, everything, every second was only about that time. And it required tremendous willpower to take care of them. To not meet. But eventually, over time, you realize that it starts getting normalized. You can start focusing on more areas of your life eventually. Of course, it still requires more care and attention, but compared to when it all started, when you started, it's nowhere true, right? Nowhere as close. Because now it's become a part of you, become a part of your system. So this is something that you can really, yes, but a bit better slowly. So this is something that you can really implement into making your life so much more easier. A whole lot of us bring a lot of high disjointed habits, and we cannot possibly as a human being have the willpower to do all of it at once. Even if you do it, it's not going to stay consistent. It's going to, you already have a certain set of responsibilities that you have to take care of. None of us here are kids. We all have jobs, we all have families, we all have responsibilities, people who rely on us. But, and when you're focusing on a personal growth journey, the important thing is to not utilize all your willpower on it. And this is why a lot of people say self-help does not work. I'm sorry, I think the Zoom meeting got disconnected. Yeah. So this is why a lot of people give up on working on any goals, telling that it does not work. Can you all hear me? Yes. Can you all hear me? Yes. Yes. Okay. Because we think of massive actions that you can take, but what always works is small steps you can implement right now. Even in the habits, I want you, when you're looking at the habits, I want you to reassess it and see it in this way. First thing is the habit that you've written. It says my network bandwidth is low. Let me just reconnect to. Hello, can you all hear and see me? Yes. So whenever you are creating a habit tracker, you're adding a habit tracker, I want you to look at it in this lens. And if it's not matching up to it, I want you to reassess it. First criteria to a habit that you're adding or you're bringing is it has to be a slight modification.
Niranjan, your
So
video
much
is
constantly
again
going out and
paused.
coming in. Yeah, now I think it's working. It's okay. It's sometimes just happens, not my control. Yeah. So I will repeat
Please
what I was telling
repeat.
Ramya.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So what I was telling is that when you have I want you all to look at the habit tracker that you've made, then reassess it in this lens. I'll be providing you a questionnaire. This entire thing written, I'll be providing you so you can again relook at it. First thing is every habit you're adding, remember that it has to be something in association that is already something you can do as a modification or an addition to what you're already doing. For example, the morning check-ins we are offering is something that actually is not all that difficult. At the end of the day, you all have to wake up. You will wake up at some time. Now, the difficulty is waking up at 5 a.m. if you're someone who's typically used to waking up at 7. But once you overcome that, you will realize this requires a lot of willpower. But once you're able to overcome that, attending the morning class is chill. You want to do the assessments we are offering you, the task we are giving you. Now, an easy way to look at now, one thing that you can immediately do is rather than thinking of that sometime that you're going to set aside, when is it that you typically sit down? What do you typically do right after eating? We typically sit down, we chill, right? But immediately right after eating, this is a time you can actually sit down to do the tasks. You have some time in the morning. That's when you can do it. See, let me give you another example. Let's say you want to practice gratitude. You want to practice saying gratitude affirmations right after meditation is a great time you can practice it. See, you notice you're sitting down, you're meditating. Right after that, gratitude practice. From switching from meditation to gratitude practice, it does not require a lot of willpower. You're sitting in the same place, same kind of movement, you can just say. Let's say you want to brush 2 times in the day. You want to brush at night. And this is a particular habit that I struggled with a lot. Now I brush 3 times a day, but this one is an area I struggled with a lot. So in order to overcome this, here's what I did. Right after the Soulflow class, by default, I will just flow. I will share the recording link and everything. By default, I'll anyways be going to the bedroom. But instead of going to the bedroom, straight I would walk to the bath with brush and run right away again. The mistake was that I would want to sit down in the bedroom, chill for some time, and then before sleeping, try and brush. But that required willpower. And by night, I was already tired. Are you understanding how this works? And the biggest mistake why a lot of us fail in implementing a habit is because we put 5 random things, but we never see how it can be connected with what we are already doing in our life. Get it? This is the number one mistake. Yes, it's called habit stacking. This is the number one mistake that we all make. Mistake number 2 that we make. We try to be perfectionists. What do I mean by perfectionist? I want to start exercising, but I'm going to find a personal trainer. I'm going to join a Gold Gym membership, and I'm going to kill it with the diet and a protein supplement and everything. No, you start by walking. You start by practicing yoga in your room or walking for 10 minutes. I want to, start this amazing business, and I want to monetize my art skills, and I want to do something great out of it. I want to build a website. I will look at the best websites I can find on the net. I'll spend hours researching. And no, easiest thing, you simply Google website creators, and you will find that there are a lot of automatic website creators that by default have a template. It just requires, it's like working on an Excel file. Maybe you have to spend half an hour on it. Just put the content, everything, and it's done. I want to practice music, and I'm going to join the music class. I'm going to do this, some great, amazing things. I have the guitar. I'll get all the equipments, everything, and I'll keep it in a special music room. No. You start with a drum guitar that you want to practice keyboard, and keep it right next to you where you can see all the time, in your bedroom, in your studio, wherever you want. So now what happens? See, think of it this way. If you have a guitar locked up in your cupboard, it requires energy to go, then open it, take it out, and then do it. If it's kept right next to your bed, you come pick it up and you do. Now it's a small step, going, opening, taking it. But still, when you're seeing something, it's like this. Once a research was conducted where, in order to make people drink healthier, all the sodas in that university were replaced by water bottles. In 6 months' time, they recognized that 30% more water consumption happened than 20% less soda consumption happened. Because when we see something, we want it. So you can use it in this way in terms of particularly life craft. You can take printouts. See, opening computer, finding Padlet, finding the link, downloading it, and then doing it is 5 steps. Taking a printout once and keeping it on your desk. You see it every time, at least out of guilt, you will want to come in. You agree with me? Yes. So we'll answer your one-to-one questions right now, Karimji. Thank you so much. It's a very, very relevant question that you asked. and we can go in depth into it. So when you are trying to build, when you are trying to implement something, it's super important that you understand, you make it really, really easy for you. Really, really easy for you. That the whole process of starting it out, you want to start drawing more, keep the brushes, pens, everything right in front of you. Don't keep it locked inside. Keep it right in front of you so that at TC, you don't even need a specific art time, in my opinion. In between 10-15 minutes, you can just pick, draw, come back, put it back. That's it. Another thing is, Sansari spoke about it, is staying accountable. There are two ways you can build accountability. One thing is by having an accountability partner or telling others, telling someone. Because this is something that's very, very really popular, having an accountability partner. Basically, you promise yourself you will do something, and every time you fail to do it, you give them a certain amount. It has to be something, an amount that will cause you a little pain. Not so much that will make you broke, but something that will cause you a little pain. I don't know your amount, but you have to decide what is. For some of you, it might be 100, for some of it will be 1,000. You will see that this way of keeping yourself accountable is going to work. Another way is every time you can leverage the community we are offering here. You put something on a habit tracker. You don't do it. Don't keep it to yourself. Tell others, hey guys, today I did not do it. You don't have to be very self-critical. You don't have to tell things like I'm a loser, I suck at, no. I failed to do it. And be objective maybe because I was tired, I was lazy. Just be objective about it. That's it. And you will see that, you will feel bad telling it every day for 10 days, and eventually that is the way you can do. And others will give you suggestions because we have one of the most beautiful, helpful communities in the world, I can say with 100% guarantee, because I've attended so many workshops, been part of so many WhatsApp groups. No community here is as willing and ready to come in and help as we have here. And lastly, maintaining a habit tracker. We've given you the habit tracker. I want you to reassess it. And I really want you to think it through the lenses that I've said. Are they easy? Are they something that are completely new and require lots of willpower? Or are they things that are small modifications to what you're doing currently? You can have one habit that requires lots of willpower. I used to start my day with exercise. Now I start my day with deep learning for an hour and a half. Now that requires willpower. So I'm only doing this, right? Focusing on this, and the other things are already on autopilot. I don't have to worry. So are they something that is, if you have an activity habit that requires a lot of willpower, keep one, not more than that. Are they easy? Do you have the environment set in a way you can implement it? And most importantly, are you having fun doing it? With this, you should look at the habits that you've written and be religious with the habit tracker that you've set. That is your way. That is this habit tracker you're looking at is the bridge between where you are versus where you want to be in life. Thank you so much, everyone. And that is all I wanted to convey about the session on habits today. I would love to hear from you. I would love to have your questions, your doubts, anything that you. Yes. One thing I want you all to do is the notes that you've written, I want you to upload them on Padlet under the notes section that you do. So upload. So I already have put it in the Padlet. You can already see. I added this section called golden habits. So under here, you can upload your notes. You can add your notes and sections and anything. Okay, so I will, all of you can unmute. I will go by ascending order of names. Avneet. Yes.
Yes, Niranjan, you told in habits that you should like if you want to do the art part, you should keep the art
Hmm.
stuff in front of you. If you want to do that singing and something, learning a music, you should keep that instrument in front of you. But
Correct.
that's the keeping the things in front sometimes make me feel that I had created a mess in my room. So
Right.
I
I
want to
understand.
keep it.
I
So how
understand.
to keep that block away? That is the main issue with me. I can't keep things all around me and do the things in that way.
I
That is
understand.
the way I keep it in the place, like I keep it in a bag or in a cupboard. So
Huh.
uh,
I understand.
that problem comes, that habit is not formed. I understand my block, but I
I
can't keep it in an open. So
I
that is
understand.
the
I fully
issue.
understand. See, now here the important thing is this is where your skills as an artist is going to come into play. You have to really look at how you can blend it with the environment and the things that you want to do. For example, here we have our journals and books all kept here ready. I could either just dump it all over the place or I can keep it neatly in a bookshelf with the painting with plants right next to it. The same goes for everything. Your room, you can keep what is most essential for you and what is in front of you. You're not a lot of times what happens is a lot of mess happens without our attention. When we don't pay, when we stop paying attention to environment, it becomes really, really messy. For example, like yesterday we had a whole unboxing thing and we didn't take time to clean it. So, now it's accumulated. If we let it remain there for 10 days, the room will become a mess. And the same will happen into our room as well if we stop paying attention to it. So now here, you're keeping things clean and tidy for most part, but for the few things that it's like you're knowingly putting that there and understand that this is a temporary arrangement until this becomes second nature. Because a big part of this is that what you're underestimating is over time, something that you're doing repeatedly will become your second nature. And that's what you want to aim for, right? Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Next question. Let's go. Who wants to ask the next question? Bona, do you have a question you want to ask? No. Shulagna? Yes. Go ahead.
Can I, Niranjan?
Nice, but just 1 second for all of you. This very good definition from Atomic Habits, the way they describe habits. Habits are mental shortcuts learned from experience. A habit is just a memory of the steps you previously followed to solve a problem in the past. The primary reason the brain remembers the past is to predict what will work in the future. Okay, I'll give you an example. It's not in the book, but rats, when you start giving out the rat poison or you start putting out those rat things, rats keep getting caught. But after a certain time, you must have realized the rats get very smart and then they don't get caught in these rat traps because they also know that this is causing me pain and I should not do that. That is all. It doesn't use intelligence. Here, rat trap hai, it is going to do. It's just a habit it makes and builds.
You said about Ajay Devgan movie that you saw.
I saw this really nice Ajay Devgan movie. There's a English version, Tom Hanks of it. I think some Flight 327 or something. In that movie, he is a pilot who is supposed to who is supposed to park his flight in a very precarious condition, like it's zero visibility, no flight. So rather than driving, looking for a direction and all, he simply closes his eyes and drives it blindfoldedly. The reason he does this is because he relies on his habit. He knows that I've flown through this route so many times. It is second nature to me only. Like, now, like your mothers, if you've seen, when you eat, it is their second nature. Kahin bhi koi glass dikhaya, utke, they will take it out. They see something wrong, they'll do it. So, in the beginning, you need lot of activity to get into a habit. But sooner and sooner, it just becomes part of your personality.
Becomes second nature.
Like brushing your teeth as kids is so difficult 2 times. But as adults, nobody even needs to remind us.
If you're a completely new student of Soulflow, you will see that showing up for a class is really difficult. But if you're someone who's been staying with us for a while, it just comes, okay, 8 p.m. time for soul flow.
Even though this sitting for 1 hour attending a
हाँ.
class might have been so
So
difficult for
difficult.
some of you
Yeah.
in the beginning.
Yes.
कि कैसे बैठूंगी, क्या करूंगी, but
Now
now
even
you can
4
even
hour
take
class,
elevate.
8
Morning
hours.
you can take
Yes,
this or
yes.
this practice and do.
Yes. Okay. Yes, Maitri, let's, Shlagna was asking. Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, you said that instead of setting a goal, we should set up a system. So should we like have a goal, but then we do not look much into the goal as such, but look into the progress in terms of the system?
I'll tell you the difference. Goal.
Goal is a surface level statement. It is just a statement and a line, I want this. A system is all the set of processes and all of it that you do behind it. If I say a goal is only the subject of an email header, what is the content of an email is the process. So wherever, don't get confused with goals are different, separate, processes are different. Goal is just an introductory statement. How you achieve the goal is the system.
So see, do you drive?
So in my vision board, do I write my goal or do I write my
I'll
system?
tell you. I'll answer your question. Shlagna, do you drive?
No.
No. In Indian roads also you don't drive. Cycle?
Yeah, cycle, bicycle I ride.
Bicycling. Okay. So now here, when you want to cycle, you know where you want to.
Yeah.
You know where you want to. Right. So now that is a goal. But system is the very act of cycling. Now I'm not telling you to eliminate goals altogether. All I'm telling you is, okay, let the goals be there. It's there for you. But what your primary focus is on implementing the systems, creating and implementing habits, and which is basically systems that are going to help you reach that goal. You will look at the goal. You will read out your mission statements, vision statements. You will tell your affirmations. You will do all that. But yet, you very deeply know that that is a destination to reach, and my focus has to be on the actions I'm taking right now. Did I make that clear?
So I'm asking this question from my own personal thing. That's why I'm just clearing it out so that
Yeah.
So the thing was that I always wanted to do a PhD. I had an Indian fellowship in 2011, but for whatever reason I could not do it. So, but I always kept that vision alive of me doing a PhD.
Right.
And then yes, I kept working for it, and exactly after 10 years I again got fellowships for PhD.
Amazing.
But my vision was always intact. I mean, my goal every time visualizing it. But what you said right now, which struck me, is that when I was working towards it, clearly I was working towards it, but I never realized that system that I was putting into. So are you saying for me to put, for me to realize my other goals or other dreams, it is much more effective if I realize the systems on a regular basis?
100%. That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's go with the next question. Yes, Maitri. Do you want to ask Maitri, Rakhi, Karamjeet, Surya?
Yes, I have a question, Niranjan.
Hey,
So you
Karamjeet.
mentioned, right, if you have to put on yourself on a habit, keep the things closer. So
Correct.
one issue that happens with me is like these days I'm planning to learn a keyboard, and
Beautiful.
my keyboard is just within my eyesight. But the intent is like, I don't pick it up only. So the question
Right.
is it like I don't have an intent to do that, or like I'm just trying to figure out like why I'm not picking up? I know what is the benefit of it, why I need to do it, what is the purpose. Still, it's
For
I'm
you,
not able to.
Karamjeet, it is, I think, identity based, because when you had defined your 2.2, it was a very sports oriented person, a person doing health oriented person and all. I don't think you yourself see keyboard fitting anywhere in it.
Okay. So you mean to say it is out of the boundary of that, which 2.0 I have
I think
created?
the identity that you created was so much fitness oriented. When you did, this is the first time I'm hearing of you, wanting to start a new instrument, because last conversations we had was all about your physical fitness. First, it was all about career. Then it became about physical fitness. And that's why I think German also you could not like do it with as much just as you want, because all of it is not fitting into your 2.0 version. If you truly wanted to put piano, Casio, whatever into it, you have to start visualizing your 2.0 and somehow make this as a part of it. Like my 2.0 is not just a person who's physically fit, but it is a musician who is also good at sports, or is a sportsman who is also good at, playing an instrument. That way, if you start doing, you'll get in there.
See, this is
Okay,
one
I mean,
way,
like,
one level. Another level, where you can also do is, have you set aside time particularly for practice? Because if you are, if this practicing keyboard is important for you, you have to set aside time particularly where you're going to do it. Just like, see, you now you're making time for the Soulflow classes because
yep.
this is a priority for you. Now you cannot say it's lack of time. It is
like
just that,
integral part, no matter what, wherever I am, like even now I'm traveling outside. But I
it's
feel
become a
that, no matter what, I have to miss,
Yeah.
correct.
by hook or by crook, I
Learning
have
is
to
a
make
part
my
of you.
presence.
You can visualize that by learning, I will get better and I'm getting there.
Yes,
With music,
exactly.
probably the visualization is not that deep.
Okay. So you mean to say I either have to include this in my 2.0 or I have to completely exclude the from the boundary, like either or of that.
Correct. That
Okay.
and also setting time is also another very important part of this as well. I mean, if this is something really important for you and for everyone who wants to do something but is struggling with it, you need to have a very clear time of the day when you're going to do it and make sure that your life is arranged in a way that you make time for it. It's not like if you are someone, I will do if I get time, you're never going to get time.
Try the pointing and calling method at night. Look at your piano and say, tomorrow I will play you from 8 a.m. to 8:10 p.m. 8:10 a.m. Say it to it.
So is it like I have to say to the piano, like in personally, like pointing it out?
Point and calling. So you point out towards your piano and you look at it and say, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I'm going to play you for half an hour.
See, and Ananya has given a very good insight. See,
Yeah.
I think you're thinking of 1 hour practice, start with 5-minute practice, and after
Yeah,
that.
actually, I have actually set like 1 hour like piano practice because I've almost been learning piano like keyboard for 6 months now, to be very honest. So like it's ongoing process. So the thing has been like the teacher comes, he teaches. I practice on the day when the teacher is coming. Like, that's how the mindset is. Like, wo hota hai na ki like the school teacher is about to come, so we finish the homework just at the last minute. So what I try to do is I only open the keyboard when the teacher comes, like few hours in learning. And that gets visualized to him ki like, बस ये दिखाने के लिए कर रहा है. Actual practice तो है ही नहीं. So that's how the thing goes.
That explains it, right?
So yeah, I got my answer.
Do the pointing and calling. See how it works.
See all these are strategies and tactics, right?
One
Bhuvana,
question like one simple, like you said, like, pointing and calling. So what is the significance behind that? Just wanted to know, like, why we do that.
Like I explained to you, it's an NLP process. Basically, when you are thinking in your mind, you are only using your brain and the whole pressure goes onto your mental prowess into it. But when you involve your body into it, you are pointing, calling, all the 5 senses get involved in it. You're speaking it out, you are listening to it, you are viewing it, you are using an object. So it becomes a more involved practice and it's easier for the body to, start reacting towards it. That's the only thing. I don't want to get into the hormones releasing chemicals.
Got it.
But in a nutshell,
I got the
this.
gist. Got the gist. Thank you so much.
Yes, Bhuvana, what about mind mapping? You want a mind map? I'll be sharing the domain. Or you want to learn how to do mind maps? It's actually very easy. Creating mind maps.
Niranjan, Medha here.
Hey, hello, Medha.
Yeah, Niranjan, I want to ask one question. That whenever I follow my routine and I write everything and everything what is I plan, So in my life, it happened that a miserable thing happened. So that's why I never follow the strict routine. So uh, that's why I am a little bit untidy one. So what to do for it? Is it my belief is what to do for this?
I'm sorry.
First of all, Mehtaji, do you feel a need to change? I mean, I am not a very clean person. I am a messy person only, but I'm okay with it because I feel it helps me in my creative spirit. So I am not a very always running into it. First of all, do you feel a need to change, or are you happy where you are?
Actually, I want to change, but whenever I tried it, a very miserable thing happened in my life. So I'm afraid to do that. So if I will write a journal and
Triggering a trauma.
everything, so
Right.
what to do
triggering
for that?
something in
And
you.
I first time I'm telling somebody to, because you people are very close to me from long time.
Thank
We
you
are
so much.
here. So first time I'm telling somebody this problem. And whether to what to do for this. I'm really
I understand.
Basically, it's triggering you. Why don't you reach out to me personally and tell me a little bit more about the incident? Maybe I can help you get over it. What is it exactly that causing you triggering? You might not be comfortable sharing it here. You send me personally a message. I'll see what can be done.
definitely. Thank you very much.
Right? Super. See, even if Sansari, if you can discuss Sansari and bring it out, that's great. If not, you need to understand that a lot of these emotional blocks and trauma that are come, they cannot be solved on the level of a strategy or some technique. They will require professional help. It is like you're having a I'm asking you to start walking every day, but if you have a pain in the knees, no amount of advice from me is going to help. You will need professional help for that. So at times you need to realize that this is where the difference lies, and you will have to recognize. You should have the wisdom and the support systems to tell you whether you're being lazy or whether it is a real problem that needs to be sorted out.
I relate to you a lot, Pedaji. For example, for me, this habit is going to a temple. I feel very triggered going to temple or any religious purpose. Like even if there is a havan happening in house and all, I feel very triggered. Okay, because of the past, like you said, incidents happened. So my way of dealing with it is, rather than trying to become a person who likes puja, who likes all of it, I have actually completely ignored that part of my life because I feel it's too triggering. And right now, I don't want to address it. Like Niranjan said, it is not going to, like no matter how much I want to go to a temple, I can't, because when I go there, my legs will shake, my distance. So it needs to be addressed on a deeper level.
I also get triggered with these pujas and things. It's a very personal issue that
These are all meant to do it on a very deep level, not on a habit level, more of a
deep therapy level is what is needed. And you need to understand if this is something that you actually want or others are telling you. Okay? Superb. So Swapna, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, so actually, I don't have much questions to ask. You have already simplified my life to a very great extent. I want to share something with you, but so my
please.
journey with Soulflow started in Jan 23.
Jan 23.
I joined you guys, and one second. Okay, and this is what I want to show. When Sanchari had told, I mean, you guys have been telling us like habits, vision, and vision board, and thing is, this is okay. One second.
We've
one
also
second.
asked you to do goal setting also. Done all of
Yes,
logo.
this is Jan 1st.
Oh, this is last year. This year's January
Jan
1st.
1st. I was just going through all the journals that I started with Soulflow, and I don't believe I've already reached half the way. I mean, I wouldn't have done all these years. I have not done it, and right now today's class is such a wow. I have no words to explain it. It's like I told Sanchari I have joined this new instructor counseling course, and I just left the meeting halfway because I thought I find more
Wow.
guidance and importance in Soulflow classes. This is what I had planned in March 23. My first exhibition and my class, both has happened. Both
Share
has
this in the
happened.
group,
These
yeah.
are the
Wow, it
goals.
is so affirming to see this.
And
Wow.
when I see this, I was like, wow, I've already achieved. I mean, I can follow you guys blindfolded. I mean, you guys have really, really, really changed my life. You know, and I'm going there like I've already, I mean, I must have written down. First, it was always in thought. I want to become an artist. I want to have this. So not halfway, maybe little less, but I'm there. I'm going there. I'm reaching. I'm getting it. I'm getting there. You know, and I dedicate everything to you. I'm so blessed to have you in my life. Thank you
Saw in
so
that
much.
letter, in that thing you posted on the group, I love Soulflow, I love my life. I saw it. I can genuinely feel it. But Swapna, you have to take credit for yourself. We have taught over 500,000 people this year. Only some of you like have been able to do it. Give yourself the
See,
due
I've been
credit.
doing this all these years. If you guys I wouldn't have met you guys. I think I still would be just thinking, okay, I want to become art and but what to do? I mean, just thinking is not going to make me an art entrepreneur, right? So you guys showed me the path and I'm walking on that path. And I'm really, really grateful to you guys.
And 2024 planning, we will do it in live, Lonavala. This time, so
Yes.
you're going to
I'm
do it live, sitting there.
very,
It's going to be incredible.
very, very much looking forward for it.
Thank you so much. Now go back to your other class and attend that. Don't miss that.
No, it's very boring. I rather not attend it.
Yes. Surya. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, like I had
How's
few
your
doubts.
health now?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing good. Yeah. Like I have a few doubts regarding my habits. Like I daily I follow routines. Like my day is filled with routines. Like I do morning routines, night routines continuously. Like it's become my part. I don't have to track it daily. And like it includes my graphotherapy practice early in the morning, next gratitude, to-do list, everything. It goes like that. So how do I mention in my tracker? Like how can I mention? Like I copied it and everything I did. Uh, so I have few doubts. Like when I do what I should mention, like a morning routine, or I need to
I'll tell you.
divide it parts.
I'll tell you. So first to answer, this part is C. You are essentially, you need to track something where you face challenge in following. If, see, I'm at this point in life where I don't need to track whether I'm working, whether I'm doing, holding work sessions, whether I am doing exercise, whether I am eating right. I don't need to track all of this because they are by default, it's already there. What I do need to, however, track is, am I learning regularly? Am I able to consistently, upgrade what I'm teaching for the classes? Am I talking more to my students? See, these are areas that I'm working on, and this is what I need to track. Now, your challenges are, you come with a different set of challenges. So once you do something by default, once you follow something, that will become your default state, or that will become your version, your current version. Now, you need to track things that is completely new for you, or you're still facing challenges. All right?
Yeah. In learning and everything. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you have,
remember those 5 lessons we had made, one needs 100, one needs 20, one needs 30, one needs 10 bandwidth. So the ones now that don't require much bandwidth from you, you can let those go. जिसका अब automatic लग रहा है कि gratitude तो मैं बिना practice के कर पा रही हूँ, उसको अब काट दो, उसकी जगह you can put something.
Yeah, there is sir, there are so many things in the list I do daily. Like it's a default, I do that. So I need to exclude them. I will edit. Yeah. I wrote everything I need to work also. So I will edit this and I will share in the task. Thank you.
It's as simple as that. See, if you have like a set morning routine where it's like wake up, take a shower, do gratitude practice, meditation, journal. If you already have all of that, so just morning routine done.
Yeah.
Then the next thing will be something else. Now it's important, like remember what I told you, it's important. It's also, it's really, you want me to come? It's really important that as you're doing this also to not overburden yourself with 10, 20 habits that you're tracking. Because see, the habits you're tracking that you used to track 1 year ago is not what you need to be tracking now. The habits that you're tracking now is essentially what you should not be tracking 2 years in the future. They should you have to upgrade in life. Otherwise, what is the point of all this? And also, it's really important to not overburden yourself with 20 habits. Because it looks good on paper, you can show that I have so many habits that I track. Keep it minimal. And remember, even when you're adding these things that you're facing challenges, it should not be completely new things disconnected from what you're already doing. It should be modifications of what you're doing. Like if you're someone who's struggling with keeping the room clean, that I personally believe is an area there many of us, including myself, face challenges. Simple practice can be before going to bed, I will fold all my clothes and I will keep it in the cupboard. Or before I, before I wake up, before I go to sleep, I will throw away all the remaining food wrappers, plates, glass, everything that I must have accumulated there. I will keep it in the kitchen. See, this requires like 5 minutes of effort. 5 minutes of effort. And then they become second nature to you. Okay?
Yeah, like from last week, last week I excluded exercise from my, like last 1 month, I'm unable to do exercise because of my leg fracture, leg pain. So I need to include it. Like I'm unable to because it's giving a hard time till today. So I need to include it from next week for 5 minutes stretching too. So I will edit it according to for this week. Yeah, thank you.
Anything that requires some level of willpower on your side, track that. Okay. Yes. Any other question? Yes, thank you so much, Rini, Nikita. So Maitri asked, like you said, following October is like a 3 books to read but couldn't. How do I build up the habit? So see, if you're struggling with reading, here the important thing is, do you really need to read? Is a question that you have to answer first. Why are you reading? Are you reading for relaxation? Are you reading for learning? If learning is your thing, do you necessarily have to do it through reading? Can you find other ways of doing it? Here, a constant thing that you have to do looking at yourself is, why do you need to do something in the first place? And is it part of the identity you created for yourself? If that is in sync, actions should essentially come much more easier for you. Then it's only a question of what strategy can I implement? Like we told you about Pomodoro technique for working. Now, Pomodoro technique, you know what Pomodoro technique is? Pomodoro technique essentially is you're working for like a time period of 25 minutes, focused work, then you're taking a 5-minute break. Then again, repeating that cycle. So this is a strategy. This is a tactic. But even then, this makes sense only if working, working with integrity is a part of your identity. If your identity is, I want to be a serial killer, then this makes no sense. So it's very important to question why you need something in the first place. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, all right, everyone. So that's about it for tonight. It was indeed, I really enjoyed taking this. Would love to see here your insights, your experiences. Do share your notes on Padlet. It's already there. Do share experience in the WhatsApp group. I will be adding
Niranjan, can you share the table also which you showed us?
100%. Actually, I am surprised that a big part of the table actually went missing, like in between. I don't know, but I'll just share the mind map for you. I'll
Thank you.
share the mind map, and if possible, I'll also see where we can do a session where we make you do a mind map live. It's a really cool way of presenting.
Niranjan, can we get the recordings for this, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.